Ever feel like you're stuck in a networking rut? Going to the same conferences, seeing the same people, having the same conversations.
Yeah, it's like you're just going through the motions,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. Well, today we're diving into something different. We're talking about building a professional network that's diverse, dynamic, and full of unexpected connections.
And that's so important these days, isn't it? I mean, the world of work is changing so rapidly.
Absolutely.
Mm.
So we need to make sure our networks are keeping pace. Let's start with the why. We hear all the time that networking is important, but how does having a diverse network actually translate into career success?
Well, I think it's all about opening doors to opportunities you might not have even known existed.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Well, think about it. A contact in a completely different field, they might have insights into job openings that you wouldn't have even thought to look for.
That makes sense.
Or they could offer a fresh perspective on a challenge you're facing in your current role, just because they come at it from a different background, different experiences, right? They're seeing it with fresh eyes.
Exactly. I actually had this happen to me a while back. I joined this online forum. It was all about data visualization, kind of a random choice for me because I work in marketing, right?
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, I started picking up all these amazing techniques for presenting complex information in a way that was both engaging and easy to understand. And I was able to take those techniques back to my marketing reports. My manager was blown away.
Wow. That's a perfect example of how stepping outside of your comfort zone can really pay off.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're convinced diversity is key for a dynamic and successful professional life. But how do we actually make it happen?
Well, we've got 5 actionable tips that we can dive into.
Perfect. Let's hear them.
Okay, so tip number 1 might seem a little counterintuitive. It's industry events.
Industry events. But I thought we were trying to think outside the box here.
Right, but we're not talking about the same old conferences that you always go to, right? It's about branching out, choosing events that are maybe a little bit outside of your usual bubble, even if they seem a little intimidating at first.
So get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Exactly, because that's where you're going to be exposed to new ideas, new ways of thinking, and you never know who you might meet.
It's like cross-pollination of ideas, right?
Exactly.
So it's not just about the people you meet, but the ideas that you're exposed to.
Absolutely. It can really change your whole perspective. Okay, now tip number 2 is all about online communities.
Oh, online communities are a gold mine, aren't they?
Right. But again, we're not just talking about scrolling through your LinkedIn feed. I mean, that's important too, but go deeper. Dive into niche forums that are related to your interests, professional networks that are specific to your field, even online communities for hobbies, things that you're passionate about outside of work.
And that ties into that open-mindedness that we talked about earlier, right? Being receptive to learning from people who have completely different backgrounds and experiences.
Exactly. You got it. Ask questions, share your own insights, and don't be afraid to connect with people who might challenge your assumptions.
I love that. Challenging assumptions. And that actually reminds me of our third tip, which is project collaboration.
Oh, yes. Collaboration is key.
It is. It's so easy to get siloed in our own departments, our own teams, but seeking out opportunities to work with people from different areas, even within your existing company, can be so valuable.
Absolutely. And, it doesn't have to be a massive project or anything. Even something as simple as suggesting a brainstorming session with colleagues from another department.
That's a great idea.
It can spark some amazing innovation, that cross-pollination of ideas again.
Bringing those different pieces of the puzzle together.
Okay.
Okay, tip number 4. What have we got?
All right, so this one takes a slightly different angle. It's mentorship.
Mentorship. Yes, love it.
We often think of mentors as those people at the very top of their field, the big names, the CEOs. But mentorship can really come from anyone who has valuable experience and insights to share.
Absolutely. So true.
So think about who you might be overlooking as a potential mentor. It could be someone who's navigated a really unique career path, or someone who comes from a completely different background. Their guidance could be invaluable.
It's about broadening our definition of what mentorship can look like.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, we've got 4 down. What is our 5th and final tip for building a diverse network?
This one is the foundation of it all. Stay curious.
Stay curious.
Yeah. Be open to learning from every single person you encounter, regardless of their title, their years of experience.
Because everyone has something to teach us, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That next great idea, that next connection could come from anywhere. It could be the intern with the fresh perspective, the colleague from a different country, or even someone you met at that out-of-the-box industry event we talked about earlier.
Right. Those unexpected encounters can be the most fruitful. Actually, this reminds me of a study by LinkedIn that found that a staggering 85% of jobs are filled through networking.
85%. Wow.
Yes. And not just any networking, the kind that goes beyond your immediate circle, the kind that we're talking about today.
It all ties back to having a diverse network. And it's not just about finding a new job either. It's about bringing new ideas to the table. It's about fostering innovation. And it's about creating a more inclusive and well-rounded professional landscape for everyone.
Absolutely. So as you're embarking on your networking journey, think about this.
Yeah.
How can you not only benefit from these diverse connections, but also how can you contribute to a more equitable and representative workforce?
It's about paying it forward, isn't it?
It really is.